Annika Pro-Am. As it says here, it will take the Gamebridge ambassador Caitlin Clark returns to play this Wednesday. No, not this Wednesday. In the Wednesday, November 12th, Pro-Am at Pelican Golf Club as part of the Annika driven by Gamebridge.
The WNBA just made a move that nobody saw coming. And trust me, this isn't your typical league drama. We're talking about a situation so wild, so unprecedented, that it's forcing us to ask a question nobody thought we'd ever have to answer. What happens when a league's biggest star becomes more valuable outside of it than inside of it? Because right now, while the WNBA is still trying to figure out how to properly market Caitlin Clark.
Wednesday, November 12th at Pelican Club. Pro-Am tickets are $25 and event organizers. Now peep this. Business is booming when Caitlin is involved. Pro-Am tickets are $25 and event organizers saw demand increase 1,200% for the Pro-Am because of Clark, one of the most popular figures in the sports world. 1,200%.
The LPGA Tour just pulled off what might be the smartest business move of the entire year. And here's the kicker. They did it by doing something the WNBA refuses to do, recognizing greatness when it's staring them right in the face. Let me paint you a picture. November 12th, Pelican Golf Club in Bel Air, Florida. A Pro-Am golf event that, under normal circumstances, would draw...
Might even have they've got a statement from somebody. Caitlin Clark enjoyed her time at the Annika so much last year that she's running it back. The WNBA star will return to the LPGA Tour event at Pelican Golf Club in Bel Air, Florida, where she's scheduled to participate in the Pro-Am on November 12th.
Maybe a few hundred diehard golf fans. But this isn't a normal circumstance. This is the day Caitlin Clark returns to the Annika Pro-Am for the second year in a row. An entire sports world is about to stop and watch. Not because of the $3.25 million prize purse. Not because it's the LPGA Tour's final full-field regular season event. But because when Caitlin Clark picks up a golf club, everything changes. And I mean everything. Last year...
Clark had thousands. She played the front nine with the world number one Nelly Korda and back nine with golf icon Annika Sorenstam, the event's host. It was an honor to play the Pro-Am with Caitlin last year. The crowds were amazing, and we are excited for her to return to the Annika in November. Annika said she added such a great dynamic to our event, and her passion for golf and competitiveness were fun to witness firsthand.
When Clark participated in this exact same event, the numbers were absolutely staggering. Pro-Am tickets were just $25. $25. That's less than what you'd pay for a decent meal. But here's where it gets insane. Ticket demand didn't just increase. It didn't just double or triple. It exploded by 1,200%. Let me say that again, so it really sinks in. 1,200% increase in ticket demand. All because one basketball player decided to show up and...
Colton Herta and Marcus Erickson served as the caddies. Come on, man.
All right, everybody, welcome back.
I think the cool thing about that is just you felt the energy in the room, the amount of women sitting in there and so passionate about being a leader in their space, whether it was sport, whether it's business, whatever it is. I think that was what's so cool about it. And obviously getting to sit next to Annika on stage is pretty special.
Play some golf. Think about that for a second. If tournament organizers expected to sell 1,000 tickets, they suddenly had 13,000 people trying to get in. If they planned for 2,000, the demand hit 26,000. That's not normal for golf. That's arena level buzz. That's the kind of impact that makes sponsors sit up and take notice. That's the kind of cultural gravity that most athletes spend their entire careers trying to achieve. And
It's special for myself. So I think a lot of things that me and Annika said is we share a lot of the same values, and I think that's really cool, being driven, but so do they at the same time. Like, obviously we're, professional athletes who played sport or whatever it was, but at the same time in their lives, it all relates. And I think people at times forget that we're real humans too, and we're driven by the same things that they are, maybe just achieving things a little bit differently, and whatever it is, but you could just feel the energy and excitement in the room. And I thought that
Clark generated it just by showing up to a sport she doesn't even play professionally. And attendance? Up 200%. Pro-Am groups that would normally draw maybe a dozen fans, maybe 2 dozen if they're lucky, were suddenly being followed by thousands of people. Thousands! Hanging on every swing, every shot, every moment. The Golf Channel literally went live in the middle of her round, following her down the fairway for interviews like she was Tiger Woods in his prime. Fans couldn't get enough. Now here's where this story takes a turn that should make every WNBA executive deeply, profoundly uncomfortable, because while the LPGA Tour is rolling out the red carpet for Caitlin Clark, celebrating her impact and openly admitting that she's great for business, the WNBA is still out here debating whether she's earned the spotlight. Let that sink in for a moment. Every major sports league in America understands what Caitlin Clark brings to the table. The NFL sees it. The NBA sees it. Major League Baseball sees it. Even golf, a sport she doesn't play professionally, gets it. But her own league, the league she actually plays in, they're still questioning her worth. It's honestly mind-boggling when you really break it down. The LPGA, which has zero obligation to Caitlin Clark beyond a sponsorship tie through GameBridge, is showcasing and protecting her image like she's made of solid gold. They're treating her like the generational talent she is. Meanwhile, the WNBA is letting her get hacked, shoved, and disrespected night after night, all while acting like she should just be grateful for the opportunity. The contrast couldn't be more stark if they tried. And you want to know the really crazy part? GameBridge didn't even wait for Caitlin to become a WNBA sensation. They signed her back when she was still at Iowa, still breaking every college basketball record imaginable, still building the foundation of what would become one of the most marketable brands in all of sports. They saw the vision before the draft, before the record-breaking rookie season, before any of this mainstream attention. They recognized greatness early, locked her in, and now they're cashing in big time as the title sponsor of this LPGA event. Caitlin had endorsement deals with GameBridge since her senior season at the University of Iowa. She was getting to the bag before the WNBA ever entered the picture, before Commissioner Cathy Engelbert ever had to worry about how to market her, before any debate about whether she deserved the hype. She was already a massive national brand, and companies like Nike, GameBridge, and every major network in America saw it crystal clear. So when people try to act like Caitlin Clark should be grateful to the WNBA, like the league built her into what she is today, let's be very, very clear about something. The WNBA didn't build Caitlin Clark. The WNBA benefited from Caitlin Clark. There's a massive difference between those two things, and it's a difference that's becoming more obvious with every passing day. Because here's what the LPGA understands that the WNBA apparently doesn't. When you have a star who brings in new audiences, you don't try to dim their light. You don't question whether they've earned it. You don't debate their value. You build around them. You showcase them. You let their star power lift everyone else up. It's not complicated. It's actually a pretty simple business strategy that successful leagues have been using forever. Look at what happened last year when Caitlin participated in the Annika Pro-Am. She played the front nine with Nelly Korda, the world number one. Then she played the back nine with Annika Sorenstam herself, one of the greatest golfers of all time and the event's host. And Annika didn't just tolerate Caitlin's presence. She celebrated it. She praised it. She said the crowds were amazing, that Caitlin added such a great dynamic to the event, that her passion for golf and competitiveness were fun to witness firsthand. Now, Annika Sorenstam doesn't hand out compliments lightly. She's a legend who's seen every type of celebrity golfer come through these pro-ams. The ones who show up just to pose for photos and collect a paycheck. The ones who treat it like a joke. But when Annika talks about Caitlin, there's genuine respect in her words. She recognizes a true competitor when she sees one. And that's exactly what Caitlin is. Someone who doesn't just show up for a photo op, but someone who genuinely loves the game, studies it, practices it, and approaches it with the same intensity she brings to every three-pointer on a basketball court. It's that Michael Jordan level of competitiveness that follows her everywhere. Jordan's legendary intensity didn't stop when he left the basketball court. It carried over to golf, where every single swing became a battle of pride. Caitlin has that exact same relentless edge. She's not pretending to care about golf. She's not faking interest for sponsorship dollars. She genuinely loves the sport, and it shows. That's why golf legends are praising her impact. That's why she's blending Jordan's fire with her own authentic passion and showing the next generation what true athletic obsession looks like. And LPGA isn't shy about any of this. They openly admit they love having Caitlin Clark because she's great for business. They're not hiding behind corporate buzzwords or pretending it's about something else. They straight up say she's the main draw, the reason ticket sales surge, the reason broadcasts trend. And instead of fighting that reality or trying to diminish it, they're embracing it completely. This is what a smart partnership looks like. Caitlin gets to show off her versatility and expand her brand beyond basketball. The LPGA gets a massive flood of new attention and eyeballs on their sport. Other golfers benefit from the expanded visibility. GameBridge strengthens its brand association with both sports. Everyone wins when a league understands its star power and builds around it instead of trying to dilute it or pretend it doesn't exist. Now, let's talk about Commissioner Cathy Engelbert for a second, because this is where the WNBA strategy becomes really questionable. She keeps saying the league doesn't need to change its marketing approach. She believes Caitlin Clark's success will naturally lift everyone up without the WNBA having to do anything different. And look, there's a kernel of truth to that idea. A rising tide can lift all boats. But here's the thing that only works if you actually capitalize on the moment when it's happening. The LPGA understood this instantly. They saw that 1,200% ticket surge, those massive crowds following Caitlin around the course, and they immediately said, let's do this again. That's not luck. That's opportunistic, intelligent business. You see the moment, you recognize its value, you capitalize on it, and then you repeat what works. It's a formula that successful organizations have been using forever. But what's the WNBA doing? Where's their strategic marketing? Where's the accessibility for fans who want to watch Caitlin play? Where's the protection for their biggest draw when she's getting physically targeted game after game? Are they just sitting around waiting for momentum to magically happen again? Or are they actually going to take proactive steps to build on what they have? Because here's something that should genuinely terrify the WNBA leadership. Annika Pro-Am said she looks forward to having Caitlin back and continuing to introduce the great game of golf to the next generation. Read that sentence again and really let it sink in. A Hall of Fame athlete from a completely different sport sees Caitlin Clark as a bridge to an entirely new audience. She understands that Caitlin is a generational marketing force who can grow golf among fans who have never even watched a tournament before. Annika gets it. Fans don't just support Caitlin, they migrate with her. They follow her everywhere. And Annika is smart enough to turn that loyalty into long-term growth for her own sport. Meanwhile, the WNBA still hasn't figured out how to do the same thing with their own product. And it's not like this is some secret formula. Look at the ecosystem forming around Caitlin at this event. LPGA Tour pros, IndyCar drivers serving as caddies, GameBridge executives, and literally thousands of fans all gathering in one place just because she's there. That's not hype. That's cultural gravity. That's how crossover icons are made. Tiger Woods had it. Michael Jordan had it. Serena Williams had it. And now Caitlin Clark is doing it right before our eyes. And one league is smart enough to recognize it, while another is still debating whether it's real. The Athletic literally sent video of Caitlin's golf swing to a professional coach for analysis. A major sports media outlet dedicated serious journalistic resources to breaking down her mechanics, like she's a legitimate PGA contender. The verdict? She's raw but powerful, relying on pure athleticism instead of polished technique. But that's not even the real story. The real story is that everything Caitlin does becomes content. Her swing, her warm-up, even her practice shots, it all draws national coverage. That's what happens when you truly transcend your sport. You're not just a basketball player anymore. You're a full-blown cultural phenomenon who turns every single appearance into a major event. Here's the other thing people need to understand. Caitlin only played 13 games this season because of the WNBA's incredibly short schedule. That makes her off-season moves even more crucial for maintaining relevance and building her brand. Most athletes fade into the background during long breaks. Fans move on. The spotlight shifts. But Caitlin refuses to disappear. She stays visible and relevant through genuine passion projects like golf. This isn't a fake PR stunt manufactured by some marketing team. It's authentic. She loves the game. She embraces the competition. And she uses it to keep her name, her energy, and her brand alive all year round. That's what separates stars who fade away from stars who dominate every conversation regardless of the season. And right now, on November 12th at Pelican Golf Club, for just one day, a Pro-Am golf event in Florida is going to become the absolute epicenter of the sports world. Not the championship round, not the main tournament, the Pro-Am, the warm-up, the exhibition. And it's already generating more buzz than most full tournaments because Caitlin Clark is teeing off. All roads lead to the Annika Pro-Am. All cameras, all media attention, all sports fans, because that's the incredible power of crossover fame in 2025. And what's really refreshing is that the LPGA isn't trying to fight this reality. They're celebrating it. They understand that Caitlin's spotlight doesn't dim anyone else. It makes the entire stage shine brighter. It brings more fans to the sport. It creates bigger purses for everyone. It generates media buzz that helps all the golfers get more exposure. It's a rising tide that actually lifts all boats when you're smart enough to embrace it. So when tournament officials prepared for this year's event, you better believe they got ready. More tickets, expanded hospitality, bigger spaces. Because when Caitlin's name is on that marquee, lightning doesn't just strike once. It sells out twice. And the LPGA knows exactly what they have. They know the numbers. They know the publicity. They know everything that comes with having Caitlin Clark's name affiliated with their event. And they're doing what's best for business, unlike the WNBA. Because the truth that nobody in that league wants to admit is this. The WNBA should be thanking Caitlin Clark, not the other way around. She was already a massive national brand before she ever stepped onto a WNBA court. Every major company saw it. Every major network saw it. The league didn't create her. They benefited from her. But instead of fully embracing that gift, too many people spent her rookie year downplaying her success and questioning whether the hype was deserved. The LPGA saw her value instantly. No jealousy, no drama, no debate, just open arms and smart business decisions. They're treating Caitlin like the crossover icon she is, and they're reaping massive rewards as a result. That $3.25 million purse for the LPGA Tour's final full-field regular season event? Caitlin's presence isn't taking away from that. She's supercharging it. More fans, bigger galleries, more media attention, more sponsor value. The ripple effect creates future growth that benefits everyone. This is how you grow a league. You spotlight the star who brings in new audiences. You protect them. You showcase them. You let their light lift everyone around them. And then you watch as the entire sport reaches heights it never could have achieved without that special player. The GOAT Caitlin Clark is set to take over the show on November 12th. That's how people are describing this event. Not attending, not appearing, taking over. And the LPGA is embracing it fully because they know exactly who the main attraction is. Now the only question left is whether the WNBA will ever figure out what everyone else already knows.